You know, someone wrote us a letter and said, Howard, if you had a button. See, everyone thinks that, like, I'm some kind of racist or something because I said something like that. I said, no. I had problems because I was the only white guy in a black community. If I had been black, it would have been fine. So some guy writes a letter. He goes, ask everyone on the show, if they had a button that would eliminate all black people, would you press the button?
Oh, yeah.
Jackie, I didn't ask you.
He didn't even ask you.
We know your answer. So.
Wait a minute. That was a tape.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Who is he, the mayor of Bayville now? He's got to protect his reputation.
What, are you running for office? That was a tape. I've been framed.
That was a tape.
I'm innocent.
So the point is, if there was a button that would eliminate... Let's go to our phones and see if people would hit the button.
Oh, dear.
Because I said to Ronnie, the limo driver, because I know he gets mad at the black
But
spot.
he gets mad at everybody.
Right. So he says to me, I said to him, would you press the button? And he goes, absolutely not. I go, you're kidding? He goes, no, I would want a button where I could selectively get rid of certain blacks and a lot of these Arab cab drivers.
Yeah. Ronnie would be pushing the button every minute. Everybody be gone but Ronnie.
We were driving yesterday, and we were behind a car where loud music was coming out, and they were driving super slow. It was about 5. You can see from the afro, it was about 5 black guys. I go, hey, Ronnie, you need the button?
You two whiteies have a good time in that limo, don't you?
Oh, yeah. Yocking it up. Let's find out if there are people on the phone, Robin, that would hit the button. Now, no, I don't think anyone in this room would hit the button, would they?
No. But I told you I worked in that place where they had a button like that. You pushed it.
It didn't kill people.
No, but you followed them until they left the store.
Right.
Sort of made them disappear.
Gary worked for a store. It was called the Schvuggy Buzzer. Right? Didn't you call it that?
No, you called it that.
Oh, what did they call it at the store?
They didn't call it anything. They just called it the buzzer.
The buzzer.
The buzzer.
He worked at a clothing store?
Yes.
He's lying.
No, I'm not. I'm really not.
What do you
where
mean?
did we get the name?
What did they call the button?
No, they didn't call it anything. I don't know what Jackie's talking about. They called it the buzzer.
Did they?
Maybe
Exactly.
Ronnie told us it was a Schvuggy Buzzer.
No, Ronnie made up that name.
Did he? Schvuggy Buzzer. Anyway, so Gary works at this store, right?
Yes.
And,
in Hempstead.
In Hempstead. And Hempstead is like, a lot of people around the country wouldn't be familiar with Hempstead, but...
No.
What is it, Gorilla?
I got a story similar to that.
Okay, let me tell this one first. I got a story.
I'll give him line.
I never heard the word similar said with a Z. Anyway,
Look at my dingshard.
he's wearing a... I'll get to it later. Anyway, so, you guys are distracting me. There's too many guys talking. I can't get through a story.
You're the one controlling the mic.
I don't know. I get crazy. Everyone got crazy on the microphones. So anyway, Baba Booey works at the store in Hempstead. And
What
in
kind
Baba
of community is it? You were about to say.
Well, it's black. But a lot of white people used to shop in Hempstead because it was kind of neat. It wasn't a mall. You know what I mean? You go to Hempstead, and, like, it would be various stores. It was like a whole big shopping area.
It was like a strip mall.
There was a main
Not even
street.
strip. It was just different stores. It was almost like being in Manhattan in some ways because you would go to a store, and then there was a restaurant. You know what I mean? It was nice.
So a shopping district.
Yeah, exactly. A shopping district. And it was a pretty big shopping district. Blocks and blocks. They had a Macy's. They had a whole bunch of things. But as the community got blacker and blacker, more and more crime happened. White people started to become fearful to go there. You know, there was a big racial problem.
So just about
you
what
can imagine.
time was Gary?
I was there, but I got to tell you, I was there by the time everyone had pretty much abandoned it. And you know what's really funny?
Yeah.
This was in 1977.
I know exactly, because I used to. My mother insisted on shopping in Hempstead. She did not. My mother does not like. My mother's very direct and very exact about what she likes and doesn't like. You know how some people are wishy-washy? My mother does not like to shop in a mall. She likes shops.
She doesn't like big stores.
Yeah, I don't
she
know
likes boutiques.
Right. She just likes to shop in the open air. I don't know what it is. You have to ask her. She doesn't like malls. And she also is very into, you shouldn't be afraid of black people. That's why I had to end up living in a black community. My luck.
Didn't work with you.
Yeah, boy. Well, live there for a while, see if you're not afraid. So anyway, that's her big thing. So she insisted on going to Hempstead with me every day, you know, and shopping at her shop.
It had nothing to do with the type of black people you were living with. Any black people would have been frightening to you.
Yes.
Okay.
But Robin,
I'm just asking questions.
had you gone to Hempstead?
Robin, I want to see you go to Hempstead and not be afraid.
I don't go to Hempstead.
You're damn right you don't.
I said I was just asking if it was any black people or the people there.
At this point, I couldn't really tell who was who.
Robin,
I just didn't want to be frightened.
Howard, can I just tell Robin something? One of my last trips to Hempstead as a teenager alone, I was holed up in a in a store, and I had to call my mother because there were these guys out front that wanted my wallet.
Yeah.
You know that place that used to go buy jeans from? It was like an Army Navy
Yeah,
store?
it was a great store. As a matter of fact, I used to buy all my jeans. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I was in the back of the
What's
store.
the name of that store?
Robin Hood?
No.
I can't remember the name of it.
It was a great store. They always had my size, and I always had an awkward body. I had long legs and a rather pear-shaped ass. Hold on, I got to pass wind. Anybody want to evaluate? You should see what's going on in my pants.
Oh, see, you're
drowned out the list.
Down.
Oh, man.
Come over here and smell this microphone.
Why?
Because it's great.
It's great to you.
Come smell my aroma, Robin.
No, thank you.
Oh, boy, that felt good. Nice and relaxed.
I like experiencing you in sound only.
You're safe over there, I think. Anyway, so the blacks were waiting for you outside the Army Navy store. There was this great Army Navy store that had every kind of jeans you'd want.
Yeah?
And I didn't, my mom would take me in there, and it wasn't too bad because we'd get out quick because they always had my size. Did your mom take you for shopping and stuff?
Yeah, you used to go. In fact, I always equate it with like a week before school started. Did you go there to always get your jeans and your shoes and your underwear?
Yeah, and they always have those big staples on the jeans. So you go in there and you pull them up, and you'd always cut your hand real deep with a big gash. Was I the only one doing that?
No.
I always used to say to my mother, why do they do? They put pins and staples.
Yeah, why do they hurt me?
Yeah, and I would literally almost require stitches. No, that's not the point. So the pants didn't get me, the blacks would.
Life was fraught with danger.
It really was.
We used to ride our bikes into Hempstead because we lived pretty close, and if they didn't steal your bike, then in this case, I think we'd taken the bus in, and these guys said, give me your wallet.
Right.
They just said, give me your wallet.
Yes.
And they followed you to the store?
So we ran into the store. It was just me and another friend. We ran into the store, and the manager was nice enough to let me call my mother, and my mother had to come and pick me up. And, then it was really weird because my mother and this guy and I walked right past the guys that were trying to rip us off and got in the car. Yeah. Like, they weren't even scared.
Were they big guys?
Yeah, I mean, if I was 14, they were 16.
Right.
But they look 21.
Right. I know. In Roosevelt, I was in shop class, and guys used to just pull their pants down, and they were, not only were they huge, but they were like grown men. They were gray pubic hairs. You know what I mean? Some of these guys were in their 20s. I think. I had to be. Something was going on. Anyway, I'm starting to get the shakes. Okay, everyone, just calm down. I'll be fine. What?
I don't know if we talked. I think we talked about this before, but it was amazing how it escalated. Because it seemed like one year it was, hey man, give me a dime.
Yeah.
And it seemed like the next year it was, hey man, give me a quarter. And I swear it was like the next year I heard this black guy go up to my friend John Panagot and he goes, hey man, let me hold your transistor radio for the summer.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
That was the big thing. I remember when it used to be give me a dime, and then it did become let me hold.
Yeah.
I remember that transition, let me hold.
Right.
Let me hold your...
Made it gentler.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't for keeps. Just
I don't know if you read in my book this story about the guy who used to come by and just take... He used to take my lunch money, and then when I didn't have lunch money, I quickly run into the cafeteria and buy my lunch. He'd just walk over to my plate and just scoop up my whole salad with his big hand and just eat it. Yeah, his hand would be in my salad.
It's just so disgusting.
And you got to see this. This guy looked like a professional boxer.
Typical high school prank.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No problem.
Robert, I never was on the end of a prank where the last word was, or I'll kill you.
Oh, come on.
That's just having fun. That's why every white guy loves that movie Crocodile Dundee. When the two black guys come up with a knife and he goes, these lads are just playing, and he just like grabs the knives away from them.
That's not a knife. This is a knife.
Yeah, and it's just the black guys go running off, and you go, where's the reality in that? It should only have happened to me. Anyway, so I should have wore a big croc hat. So anyway, so Gary used to work at this clothing store. Oh my God, do I have gas? Excuse me for one more minute. Excuse me, please. I do apologize.
We didn't even rank the last one, but it wasn't very good. What is the tail in there?
That's too hard on that.
You guys are sitting in here. You haven't been complaining about the smell at all.
How's the smell, guys? Anybody?
It hasn't wafted over my way.
It smells like beans.
Well, how exciting.
Beans with salsa.
You got those matches?
Yeah, now we need the matches.
Because I put a whole jar of salsa on those beans.
Oh.
Well, I got the really hot.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, man.
Puts your brains out. Anyway, I think I'm done now.
Good.
I hope. Anyway, so Gary worked at this clothing store in Hempstead. He finally got a job, and the guy told him, because this was...
Now, wait a minute. Let me just ask one question. Had this been a place where it used to be no alarms, people just walk wherever
The place
they
had been there for a long time, and it was on a road that in its day was booming business, and you weren't afraid.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so now they're behind closed
So
doors.
as Hempstead became very black, they had to put it, because they were having probably a lot of problems with, shoplifting and stuff.
Right, and they were one of the last businesses to stay in Hempstead, and it was geared to white people, the business.
How do you figure?
Because
What
those were
were they selling?
Because those were the only people that ever showed up.
Not by intention, it just was.
Right.
No, I just wonder how you gear a store to white people.
You
What do
put a
sell?
buzzer in so that when black people come.
So anyway, his boss tells him, downstairs in the basement, it'll ring. There's a little buzzer upstairs. It'll ring downstairs in the basement, right?
Well, yeah, and there was a code.
Yeah, what was the code again?
One buzz meant, come on up, there's black people in the store. And it meant come up and just keep an eye on them.
Right.
I was 15 years old, man.
To eyeball the black people.
It was a heavy-duty, thing to put me under.
Go ahead, yeah.
2 buzzes meant that there were a lot of black people in the store, maybe a group.
And call the police.
And that you should
Like
you should get somebody with you
Right.
to come on up. And 3 buzzes meant call the police.
There's no time to wait.
That is 4 black
So had you ever had one where you had to call the police?
No.
What was did you ever go to 2 buzzers?
Did you
Yes.
ever see anybody shoplifting?
Never. But see, you know what the weird thing about it is? The store...
He was watching them.
Oh,
the,
stop it.
so
How did-
the store was located...
4 buzzers meant they were cooking the manager.
The store was located in such a way...
Soup sauce. Yeah.
The store was located in such a way that the front was on a main street and the back was in a big parking lot that serviced a lot of different stores. So a lot of people would use the store as a cut-through.
Right.
And that would make them crazy.
I know the store you're talking about.
They're just cutting through.
Right.
That buzzer would go.
Right. So every minute you're doing your work, you have to run upstairs to watch the black people.
But then
Would the black people ever, stare at you?
Well, I think I told you, on Saturdays, I was a stock boy. I used to open up the boxes. But on Saturdays...
Well, you've come a long way.
Yeah.
He's still opening boxes.
He is, my box.
On Saturdays, I used to work from 10 in the morning to 6.
He's a hard worker. He's just not smart.
And the guy would say to me, the manager of the store would say to me...
Use your teeth.
No, he would,
You'll get through the boxes much faster. Your nails aren't sharp enough.
the manager of the store would say to me, I want you to... every once in a while, just depending on his mood, I want you to stand in front of the store at the door, and I want you to keep an eye on anybody that comes by.
Wait a second, that's you opening the boxes. All right, go ahead, yes.
Keep an eye on anybody. But, I mean, he made it pretty clear, that you had to watch certain people.
Right.
So one time I was...
What did you say, the blacks?
Yeah.
All right.
So one time I was standing at the front of the store, but, I mean, I would get bored. I was a kid, and there were so many people, and these people came in, and they walked right by me, this big guy, this big, tall black guy.
Yeah.
And the guy walked right by me, and he goes, what are you supposed to be?
A demon with those big teeth?
What are you supposed to be, the security guard? And I said, no. And then he made some comment about how if I was, he probably could beat my ass pretty easily.
Right.
And I said,
good.
You probably could.
I guess he's not a...
nice banter when you walk into the store.
Yeah, pleasant man.
But
I could beat your ass.
I do have to say that, in memory now, that was after I was at the front of the store. That was after the manager had...
what business was that guy? What you were? Hey, man, you're supposed to be you're supposed to be here to God?
But you know what? I do have to say, though, in all fairness to the guy, it was a guy and 2 women. I remember it vividly. And they had walked through the store, and the manager had tailed them so closely that it made it very
You're not up to anything. What do you care how many people
it's the guy's store. He can walk as far or close to his patrons as he likes. If you don't like it, you can leave.
You're supposed to trust everybody.
No, there's no thievery going on in this country.
Yeah, especially in Hempstead.
He didn't follow his other customers that closely. I'll say that.
Doesn't matter. He liked black people, wanted to be with them while they shopped.
That's the way to look at it. That's the way you got to look at it. He loves black people.
Wanted to give them special help.
Robin, he was practically standing in their shopping bag.
Wanted to be with them.
Well, and you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. If I owned a store, I'd be doing the same thing on everybody.
So the white people are ripping him off.
That's right.
He knows that merchandise is going somewhere.
That's right. Well, there you go. What was your story, Gorilla?
I worked at a store, King's Plaza in Brooklyn, and a lot of people, it was a popular store, and a lot of people would come in and like give applicants and stuff like that, and we had to evaluate the people.
Give applicants?
Wait a
Well,
minute.
applications, excuse me.
Tell him to slow down.
Yeah.
They would give applications for a job, and we had like...
Gorillas are illiterate.
We had to give, like, applicants?
We had to give applicants? What's the college you go to again?
Hunter College.
Hunter.
Yeah.
We were pointing out how stupid Gorilla was, that he goes to Hunter College, and there was like a big brouhaha at Hunter, like how did Gorilla get in and stuff.
Then they
Actually,
called us and told us he got in under a special program.
Yeah, right.
Well, that was a brouhaha that someone from the school actually called.
I know.
That was the whole big thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, we had to like give like an evaluation, and they said no matter what, we had to, you know, if it was a black person, we had to write NGB,
Right.
which meant no good black.
No good black.
So, and they strictly...
So when you went through the applications, if it was a black, you put NGB on top.
No matter what. They said no matter what, that's what you have to put. And I was only like 16. It was my first like real job that I got a paycheck from, not like off the books.
Right.
And I had no idea, and I was like so thrilled that I got like the hottest job in the mall.
Right.
That I was like, okay. They were like either that or leave.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. So did you do it? Did you put NGB?
Most of the time I did if the manager was around. You know. I had no choice.
What'd you put down for?
You know what I like about that? It's just like. You wouldn't just put a B for blacks or NGB, no good. Like I'll rate
Right,
you.
all you're doing is pointing out that they're blacks and you're not going to hire them. Why does it have to be NG?
Like, why do you have to get dirty about it?
I had to initial like all the applicants that I applications that I took.
Yeah.
So if they called up and it was a black person, I would have got fired.
I see.
So that's the description I had to put on the piece of paper.
Gorilla got a creative with it. He used to put FN on the show off to his boss.
Or BB.
What's BB?
Black Bastard.
Hey, Howard, I'd also like to point out that summer job that I had with the Shroogie Buzzer,
Yeah.
that was also the summer that I was propositioned by a 50-year-old man in the attic. It was a great,
Good job.
Great summer.
Taught you about life.
Oh,
You
man.
can't even go out and get a stupid, like, menial job.
You know, I see all these ads now. Please give kids a job for the summer.
Better off to stay home. And by the way, let's point out the guy who propositioned you was white.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Right
Because they didn't allow blacks in the store, Howard.
You could have had a few blacks coming out of you, but... Yeah, what was it? He was like a 50-year-old gay.
That was 3 months I worked that job. This is
And
that
all
happened
this
to-
happened
The
to
guy was trying to seduce Gary, so he says to him, I remember the line, too, because he told me this. He goes to Gary, they're on like a 50-year-old guy doing boxes, inventory.
Yeah.
We were in the attic, and everybody was sort of mean to me at the store. They were like not nice people.
Right.
So he was sort of the guy. We were like, oh, this is the nice guy. He was
Right.
like, hey, come on, let's go up in the attic and have lunch.
Right. Yeah, he was a pal.
He's going to talk to you. Hang out.
Yeah, hang out. Hey.
That's so tough when you're a kid and you think a guy is your pal, and all of a sudden he hits on you. There was a gay waiter at Pipe Rock when I used to work there, and he was such a nice little Irish guy and so friendly, and all of a sudden, Jackie, I've got a new car. Want to go for a ride? And I was like, yeah, sure. I got this car. He drives me around, and he hit on me just like if you got a girl in your car. And
What'd he say to you?
He put his arm around me and went to put his hand between my legs. I smacked him. So what are you doing? He said, what? And he said something like, what are you, a tease? And I'm like, what?
Just
Jeez.
because you accepted a ride in his car, you're going.
How old were you, Jack?
30. Last week. No.
How old were you?
I would say 15 or something like that, but I was tiny.
Jackie was really cute at 15. 'cause
Yeah, he was a little
into,
gymnast.
He was into gymnastics. I could see where guys would dig that.
Oh, Jackie,
No,
I
but
saw
this
you
is like
twirling on
10th
the
grade
rim.
or something. I was still very scrawny and very little.
Really?
Very tight.
So wait a second. So Gary goes up into
What was
the
the
attic with the
line?
guy. This is great. Go ahead. I remember the line. Tell me if I got it right. The guy goes, "Hey, you little hairy monkey." No, he goes. He says to him. He starts telling him about his army days, right?
That's it.
And he says, in the army. Well, you tell it. You tell it.
He said in the Army, sometimes we'd be out for 6 months at a time, away from everybody. And sometimes some of the guys would do favors for some of the other guys. That doesn't make you gay. If you're out like that, it's not a gay thing. It's just, you just close your eyes and pretend it's a woman. That's not wrong, is it? And I would go, well, gee, it seems wrong to me.
I know. All I know is that there's no war on now.
Yeah. What are we?
What are we doing up here in the attic?
We're just up in the attic eating lunch.
He had said a lot of things like that, but that was like, You know, he goes, you try.
Obviously, he sized Gary up as being very stupid.
Yes.
He goes,
That's not wrong, is it?
You try something like
let me
that.
ask both.
And you know what? I ended up finishing the summer, and I handed the job over to my friend, and for whatever reason, maybe out of shame or whatever, I neglected to tell him about that guy.
Yeah.
And he told me that.
Now he's mincing around the village.
You know those big, you know those big laundry bins.
Yeah.
My friend said he was bent over in the laundry bin picking up hangers, and the guy palmed his ass. He punched him so hard he thought the guy had a heart attack.
Yeah. Well, it had a happy ending. He punched him so hard he had a heart attack. Was the guy attractive?
My friend, yeah, is really good.
No, I mean the 50-year-old guy.
You know what? I can tell you, he looked exactly like Pete Fountain. He had that little beard.
Oh, is that Pete Barbuti or Pete Fountain?
Who's the guy with the clarinet and the beard?
That's Pete
Fountain. He looked
Fountain.
exactly like
the one
Pete
used to be on Carson all the time?
Right.
Yeah.
Bald guy.
How do you know it wasn't Pete Fountain?
I don't know it wasn't.
No, obviously it was not Pete Fountain, right?
I don't even know Pete Fountain.
He's a clarinet player. He used to be on Carson all the time.
Oh, that one escapes me.
And
Yeah,
even Merv.
Dixieland.
Yeah.
He'd do his Dixieland clarinet.
Yeah. Johnny Carson used to have two different clarinet players on, Pete Barbuti. It was really funny, too, because Johnny Carson is such an a-hole that there were certain words only he pronounced a certain way.
Yeah.
His big word was...
puberty.
Yeah, puberty. And we're going through puberty. Now, no one on the planet says puberty. But he's such an a-hole that he's inventing new words. So the guy's name was Pete Barbuti. He's a famous clarinet player.
Yeah, I knew that name because
Yeah.
he used to say it all the time.
And he go, and now Mr. Pete Barbuti.
And Barbuti wouldn't correct him because
Yeah.
he was Johnny.
That was just so annoying. And you wanted to take Johnny and punch him so he thought he'd have a heart attack. I got a pass win. Anyone want to hear it?
Let's go.
All right, here we go. Get ready. Get your scores out. Score sheets. Oh, forget it. I can't go.
Zero.
I didn't do anything. This is an
Hey,
evaluation.
you started off so well.
I know. I should have quit while I was ahead.
Yeah.
All right, we got to take a little break here. We'll be back right after these. We're back. It's hard to believe we're back. Thought we went away permanently there. There's so much happening during the commercials, and I want to tell you what's going on. Then I get back and I forget. And Gary's got questions about Cleveland and
Yeah,
Gorilla.
we have to take care of some things.
Gorilla had a homosexual experience. Yeah. He wants to share with
How
us.
was it?
It wasn't. I guess.
Gorilla, now listen. When you explain the story, try not to identify the characters.
I
In other
won't.
words, just
Believe me,
say
I won't.
these were guys that you knew, and leave it at that. Don't use names.
No, I won't.
All right.
Because these are guys that I knew were hanging out at a bar one night, and the one guy that I know is big ladies man, like always.
All right. He's always getting girls.
Yeah. So we of course were drunk, and my friend was too drunk to drive, so we went back to that guy's place, and I said I'll sleep on the couch. He goes, I got a big bed. I said, I don't particularly do that all the time, so I just said, whatever, okay, sure.
All right, so in other words,
So
Gorilla
you
was
don't do
with
it all the time. You jumped in.
yeah, Gorilla was with two guys the other night, and they were loaded.
But they're ladies' men.
Yeah. He wants you to know they're ladies' men. So anyway,
I'm a good-looking guy myself.
yeah. So Gorilla Meister. What were you drinking, Jägermeister?
I don't remember that night. It was a lot, I'm sure.
He gets drunk a lot. He might have an alcohol problem.
I think so.
He has blackouts, you know.
I know.
Surprised you remember this.
So maybe this happened, and you just
No. I wasn't that drunk.
I was loaded.
I was loaded. I was inebriated.
So anyway, so he's with these, guys, and they end up back at this guy's place.
Yeah.
And so what happens? He says,
So
hey, we all might as well share the same bed. Was it a big king size?
Yeah, it was huge.
All right, huge.
So I took a small corner, like on the left side.
All right, let me get this straight. So all you guys are dressed.
No, I stayed in my
the two of
clothes.
you.
I didn't even take off I had a flannel shirt on. I didn't even take it off.
All right, because why? You were really freaked out that you were going to be sleeping next to guys?
Yeah.
Well, you're really paranoid.
Paranoid person.
I just doesn't make me. I'm not afraid of like gay guys. It's just I don't feel comfortable.
Yeah, but you didn't think anyone was gay. They were just guys.
I know, but I
So
just
why
don't.
would you take off your clothes?
Because I was
Did the other guys take their clothes off?
no.
All right, so everyone was in their clothes.
Yeah.
And everyone just laid down
It
on
was
the
just
bed.
more like everybody's crashing. You know?
Could you just picture this scene?
Everybody in clothes, in the bed.
You may be a homo, man. I've never slept with guys.
What? You never? All right, whatever.
I don't sleep with guys. I don't
Well,
get
you
into bed.
haven't-
Well, that
with
was
guys.
like the first and last.
You could be a homo.
Yeah,
seriously,
yeah.
because you might have a secret desire to be in bed with guys.
No,
He certainly
I know I
jumped
did.
right in. He didn't have
I'm
any argument.
I'm very positive that I'm not
Seriously,
homosexual.
just think about this for 1 second. On some level, you wanted to be in bed with those guys.
No, I didn't. On some level, I said these guys are my friends, and how could I feel that way?
And how can I kiss
So-
them?
How could you feel like
You know what I'm
wanting
saying? I'm saying these are my buddies.
But who would even consider it?
Body.
Sleep on the couch.
There was a couch, right?
But it was literally it was like.
Was there a couch?
There was a
Was
couch.
there a couch in the room?
Yeah.
There was
no,
a couch.
wasn't a couch in the room.
Was there a couch in the apartment?
Yes.
Okay.
So
Did you have slept on the couch?
Yeah.
Did you eventually end up on the couch?
Yes.
So why did you end up in the bed?
Because I figured, why sleep on a couch with springs in my back and stuff like that when I can have a bed and you know, try
with
to feel
with two other guys in the bed?
Wait, it's contradictory. Because if you're that drunk, you could just grab a blanket and sleep on the floor. If you're too drunk to drive and
Yeah,
you're
this
But it
guy
didn't make
knows.
a difference. I said,
you know, all of a sudden he's sober enough to say, well, I don't want a spring in my back.
Yeah. So I'll sleep
it's not
next to some guys.
contradictory. No,
All
I
right.
just-
In a way, just consider the fact that you might be homosexual.
I am not, though.
See, Jackie knows
okay.
how you want
All
to
right,
get
I'll
in bed with a
consider the
man.
fact.
Consider the fact.
Just for the argument's
Just
sake.
for the sake of argument.
Okay.
All
I
right,
would
go
have
ahead.
chose the floor rather than leaving the bed with the guy.
Of
But
course,
these
well,
are-
you're a real man.
But see, Gorilla and Jackie have something in common. Jackie knows how you wind up in bed with a guy.
Right, because Jackie wound up in bed with a
Yeah.
guy. Yes, you did.
You slept with Walrus.
You slept with the walrus. You woke up and you had your arms around him.
Kissed his back.
Kissed him.
I had that blacked out.
All right, so go ahead.
So, I
you
just
end up
said, all right, whatever. I
So you
said,
all,
these- I
are you wearing shoes?
yeah. I didn't even
You
take-
wore your shoes
I didn't
in
take
the
my
bed.
boots off.
You didn't even take your boots
No.
off.
Oh,
Man,
man.
you are a homophobe.
Me and Walrus were in our underwear.
So the three of you are like Herman Munster. You're laying there in bed with your shoes on.
Well, I guess maybe
That was the best part of the Munsters. Herman would get in his nightgown, and then he'd have the big boots still on.
And he'd pull up the covers.
Yeah.
And maybe they took their shoes off, but I remember because I hung my feet off the side of the bed.
Okay, so you
All
were
right.
wearing your shoes.
Yeah.
All right.
So
So
then
you're in the bed.
Now,
What
wait a
happened?
minute.
and then we you know
Wait a
you
minute.
fall asleep.
Right.
And now
well, where are you on one side?
Yeah.
And there's
How
a guy
many-
in the middle.
and then my other friend's on the other.
Okay, go
That's
ahead.
what I want to know. How many people
So
in
I
the
figured
bed?
that my other friend, you know, was like sort of like boxing my friend out. So the guy was sort of close to me. So I literally like was on. I made sure I stayed very close to the edge.
Right.
There's three guys in the bed. How close can you get away?
Yeah,
You
go
know,
ahead.
so
Yeah.
then during the course of the night, the guy was close, and I guess his arm like flopped over. So I thought maybe he was just sleeping wildly. So I threw it off. I don't trust you. Stand in front of me.
How much
All right.
sleep are you getting with all this going on?
Not much. So
For all his drinking, he remembers it pretty well.
Yeah, he wasn't that drunk. Yeah, so the guy had his
he was
arms up.
very
So he put,
excited.
so he
but
put
I
his hand on
thought
your
you
chest.
know when people sleep, you know sometimes.
So was he squeezing your breast?
No, it was flopped over.
Okay, so the guy might have been sleeping.
Yeah, exactly. So I
Okay.
threw it off, and I just really tried to brush it off as nothing.
Right,
And then it happened again.
right.
So I said, "Yo, what are you doing?"
Yeah,
And it didn't answer. So I figured the guy's in a dead sleep, doesn't know what he's doing.
right.
So then it happened again, but this time it was a little more caressing. You know what I'm saying? It was like on my chest, and then it started to slide down towards my stomach. And I went, "Whoa!" And I threw it off. And then I started to doze back off, and I said, "What are you doing?" He went for my
Genital.
Yeah. So I jumped out of bed, and I ran on the couch, and I like just passed out on the couch. And I woke up the next morning. I said, "What are you doing, man? What the hell was your problem last night?" And he just sort of turned around and went, I don't know. Just looked at me, and I went, "Oh." And I just
So, hey, you know what my analysis is?
It took
First
me-
of
it took
all,
me at least
your
a
friend
week.
might have been asleep. Number one.
Either that, maybe that, and he thought I was a girl or something, but it slid right down to like where I just...
Yeah, so don't hold it against
So did
the guy.
you get excited?
I didn't hold it against it. No.
You weren't aroused a little bit.
Not in the least bit.
Oh, yeah.
No.
You were.
Meanwhile,
yeah.
you waited there 3 times for the guy to touch you.
You were. You liked it.
I
The
brushed
first
it 2
time
times.
he touched
the first
me,
2 times.
the first time he touched me, I would have been out of the bed at least. I would never even gotten into bed.
It's not even like
tone.
Right.
It's not even like someone I don't know. It's like someone that I know. I've known for like a year and a half.
So did he finish you off?
No.
You're a homophobe. The guy wasn't doing anything. Guy
Maybe no.
There were 3 guys stuffed into a bed. The guy's arm flops over, and right away you think he's a homosexual.
The
Why
first
did
2
he go
times it
after
flopped
You're
over.
insane.
All right.
All right, get out of here.
Why did he go after you and not the other guy?
Yeah, like
I don't
Gorilla's
know.
such a sex symbol.
I'm not, but
He wanted to see the dadu. I'm so sexy.
I'm so sexy. You wanted to lift off my flannel shirt.
So, Gorilla's going through a problem with his family now.
What?
Because he lives in Canarsie, and the blacks are moving in, and all the
they're all Italians. My whole block is like
all the
on
whites
fire.
all the whites are doing the mass exodus thing. They're selling at fire sale.
Oh, wonderful.
So if any black people want to pick up an apartment cheap,
Yeah.
just go over to Canarsie near Gorilla's neighborhood.
Oh, they're gonna kill me now.
You know something, man?
There's gonna be a rock through my window tonight.
Hey, no.
Are you
Listen,
kidding?
listen. So what's it like? Is your house like the Alamo? Like you're the last white guy left on the block?
Not yet, but I know
See, with the white, I went through this as a kid in Roosevelt. It was white, and then all the white people panicked, and as soon as 2 black people moved in, and they all ran.
Yeah, their houses, it's like you got to leave to get as much money as
here's what happens. They see a black on the on the block, and they go, it's gonna be now I got a black living next to me, and he's only like 3 doors down. If I sell now, I still got whites living next to me. More blacks move in, I'm sunk, and the real estate value is going to go down. So everyone starts thinking like it's mass psychology. While you're thinking it, and you think you're the only one thinking it.
Everybody in the
friggin' person. So then a couple more people saw. Now you got like 5 blacks on the block, and you got a thing where people go, all right, all the white people get together and go, no one sell, because if we all just stay together, there won't be more blacks. Then you know what they do? What? White people start moving out in the middle of the night.
Right.
So I used to wake up and go to my friend's house. I'd ring a doorbell, and then there'd be black people living in the house.
I will say they move in overnight, Howard?
Overnight, it would happen. They'd be gone. No forwarding address.
I vouch for this because my mother woke up in the middle of the night. I swear to God, there was a moving truck in the guy's driveway. And by morning, he was gone.
I don't doubt that. Howard said there were black people the next day.
Oh, yes, there were.
If someone can move out in the middle of the night, someone can move in the middle of the night.
You're not kidding.
But you can't do it simultaneously.
I guess it can be done. Hey, David Copperfield flies. It happens. It can be done. So you got to tell all the white people that not to be afraid of the blacks.
If they all say it won't be black.
I don't even know if it's a matter of being afraid.
Oh,
they just
gorilla.
They don't like him.
No, he lives in a very Italian neighborhood. Italians and the blacks don't get along.
No, it's all
like my neighborhood's.
It's very funny because what that means is they already have inferiority complexes. And they got to look down on somebody else.
That's right.
Canarsi's where they firebomb the realty for selling to blacks and stuff like that.
So how many blacks are on your block now?
I think the count is up to 3.
3?
Yeah.
How many houses?
What is your family going to do?
My mom says she ain't going nowhere.
Oh.
My mom says.
Yeah, we'll see.
No, my mom.
That's because you guys have no money to go anywhere.
My mom grew up in the projects, man. She is like.
No wonder she's drinking.
Yeah.
She's immune.
No, it doesn't. They're not like ready to go anywhere. My parents.
So have you talked to have all the whites got together to talk this thing over?
I don't know. Well, there's talk. You know, like how there's a little kibitzing on the block.
Right.
You know.
Like what?
Kibitzing.
What kind of kibitzing are you talking about?
Just like, you know, did you know that that now she's pissed? I heard she was crying yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Crying.
Yeah, I swear to God.
Who was crying? People were crying because blacks are moving?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's very upsetting.
White Trash Central.
Oh, there you go.